In my opinion, Frankel's Delicatessen serves some of the best pastrami in New York City. It's piled high, it's thick cut, and is incredibly juicy with an amazing flavor. I just had to have some. In addition, I also got a pretty good donut that day. Today I'm here in Brooklyn at the beautiful McCarran Park, and I'm hungry, but what else is new? However, I've got to cut back on some of the spending. I cannot be going to Michelin-starred establishments and steakhouses every single week, although I'm still gonna eat well today. I've got a taste for pastrami, and I'll be going to what is, in my opinion, one of the best places for pastrami in New York City, Frankel's Delicatessen. Now, without a doubt, Hometown Barbecue serves what I think is the best pastrami in New York City. I would put Katz as a solid second, but third place is a bit of a toss-up between Pastrami Queen and Frankel's Delicatessen. Both of them serve pastrami in a thick-cut manner, which is exactly how I like it. While I do love the thinner-cut pastrami at, say, 2nd Avenue Deli and Sarge's, my personal preference leans towards the thicker cut. The first time I had Frankel's pastrami was just kind of randomly. I was just wandering around the neighborhood, I saw that it was open, got the sandwich, and was simply blown away when I had it. It has been a while since I had Frankel's, and it also has been a while since I had Pastrami Queen, but hopefully today's lunch will shed some light on the matter, so let's go to Frankel's Delicatessen. And on a side note, it is such a gorgeous day out. That's another reason why I'm going to Frankel's today, because they don't really have any seats inside. They do, but it's like these window seats. They're not very comfy, and fall is coming. I'd much rather be having my sandwich here outside during a beautiful day, so let's go to Frankel's. Frankel's Delicatessen and Appetizing opened in 2016 on a corner in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. The establishment was created by brothers Zach and Alex Frankel, both lifelong New Yorkers who wanted to pay tribute to iconic old-school institutions like Russ and Daughters and Barney Greengrass. Frankel's offers bagels, smoked fish, pastrami, and other Jewish classics. I also noticed on their menu that they have a 2 hot dog and drink recession special, just like the legendary Gray's Papaya. Although, since it's offered at $10.99, it's a bit more costly than Gray's $6.95 option, but it would still probably be a good lunch. Anyways, I was all about the pastrami, and since I had the hot pastrami sandwich on my last visit, this time I got the hot pastrami Reuben. After placing my order and waiting for about 5 minutes, I received my sandwich and then headed back to the park. I got my food, I made it back to McCarran Park. Let's eat. All right, the moment I've been waiting for. My hot pastrami Reuben. Come the hell on. There we go. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Yes, yes, and yes. Boy, does this look beautiful. My hot pastrami Reuben consisted of a generous portion of hand-cut pastrami with melted Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, and Russian dressing, all tucked between 2 pieces of rye bread. The moment I've longed for has now arrived. Let's dig in. Oh, this looks so good. Just phenomenal. Top-notch pastrami, top-notch Reuben. This is just so excellent. This is pastrami just the way I like it. There's a pretty good bark on the pastrami. It's not as good as Hometown Barbecue's bark, but you know, that's the best. How can you top that? But this is so good. And the fat content in here, oh, it's just heavenly. So look at that layer of fat on the beef. I mean, this is some clearly fine brisket. The texture on this pastrami is simply wonderful. It's so tender, so fresh, so juicy, and so easy to chew. It is wonderful. So it looks like the bread has been toasted a little bit, but it is still pretty soft. I like the fact that it's toasted, but it doesn't have that nice toasty texture, unfortunately. Still very good. While a pastrami or Reuben is really all about the meat, I do feel like the bread still plays an important part. After consuming the incredibly buttery and toasted bread on Hometown Barbecue's pastrami, no other sandwich has even come close to their offering. But like I said, I do appreciate how Frankel's has at least a bit of color on their rye. This is a tragedy. A piece of the pastrami fell off the sandwich. Oh, what a shame. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little tempted to pick up that beautiful piece of meat off the ground, but thankfully I still have more pastrami left. I was so incredibly happy and content with my lunch. Sitting on that bench with the sun shining in perfect end of the summer weather with an expertly crafted Reuben in my hand, I couldn't have asked for a better start to the afternoon. Pastrami is one of those foods that makes me so incredibly happy. This is just so wonderful. Oh. As far as this sandwich being a Reuben, it's incredible. All the components that actually make it a Reuben, like the sauerkraut, the cheese, the dressing, they are in the right proportions, whereas they don't distract from the pastrami, rather they complement it. The sauerkraut lent a level of sourness, while the Russian dressing added a touch of sweetness, and the Swiss cheese gave the sandwich a pleasant cheesiness. As a Reuben, the sandwich deserves top marks. Pastrami and pastrami of this quality is just one of the many reasons why New York City is just the best. This is also a very messy sandwich. I should have kept it in its wrapper, but the mess is always worth it. Another factor that I enjoyed about both my sandwiches were their prices. The hot pastrami I consumed on my first visit goes for $21.50, which isn't cheap, but compared to some of the other notable offerings in NYC, such as Katz or 2nd Avenue Deli, it's a bit more affordable. My pastrami Reuben goes for $23.50, which is costly, but once again, in comparison to other restaurants, it's not too bad, especially when one takes into account the sheer quality of the meat. Oh. One thing that I have to try on my next visit to Frankel's is their pastrami egg and cheese breakfast sandwich. After learning just how good the establishment's pastrami is, that sandwich sounds incredible. I am finished and I'm satisfied. That is truly some of the best pastrami in New York City, no question about it. Now, I do feel like I have to have Pastrami Queen again to come to a fair conclusion if Frankel's is actually better than Pastrami Queen, but as it stands right now, it's a two-way tie for third place for my favorite pastrami in NYC. And one really nice thing about Frankel's is that it's actually a couple bucks cheaper than a lot of the other top-tier pastrami sandwiches in the city, which right now especially, I really appreciate. In conclusion, whether one gets the hot pastrami or the Reuben, the pastrami at Frankel's Delicatessen is top-notch and some of the best in NYC. And now, I gotta satisfy my sweet tooth and get coffee, of course, but thankfully, I know just the place. Behind me is Peter Pan Donut and Pastry, one of the best places and most affordable places in the city to get donuts. Let's go get one. Peter Pan Donut and Pastry Shop has been around since the 1950s. Well, look at this. I am intrigued. This sounds amazing. Inside, it doesn't seem like much has changed. I decided against getting the donut ice cream sandwich since it would probably be melting and I would have to juggle that, my camera, and a hot cup of coffee all the way back to the park. I could easily see myself dropping at least one of them, resulting in me grumbling a large amount of expletives. So I played it safe with just a regular donut. Got my coffee and donut. Time to head back to the park, and damn, this coffee is so hot. I have to hold it like this because otherwise it just burned my hand. But yeah, back to the park. Finally made it back to the park, and it took me quite a while to find a table because, like I said, it's a beautiful day out. It seems like literally everyone's out, but that's okay because the coffee they serve at Peter Pan is so damn hot that if you drink it right away, it will burn your tongue off. But I'm here, the coffee has cooled off sufficiently for a drink. Yeah, it's not the greatest coffee, but it is $1. Yeah, can't really complain when I'm paying that little. I mean, it's hot, it's got caffeine, it's coffee, not the greatest, but solid. For my donut, I got a classic sour cream old fashioned, only $1.75. In total, my little snack here was $2.75. That's a hell of a deal, and that's tax included. Yeah, this is such a solid donut. I mean, it's got nice textural variation with the kind of crispy outside and fluffy inside. It has the right level of sweetness. It tastes pretty fresh, even though it's the afternoon. And it's $1.75. I mean, you can't beat this. So now I'm just gonna finish up my coffee, finish up my donut, then I'll do a little reading, perhaps walk around the neighborhood for a bit, enjoy this wonderful weather, and then head home. This has been a wonderful day. I truly had some top-notch pastrami today. Frankel's Delicatessen is awesome, and I really loved not paying much for my donut and coffee. Great day.